Applicant, I, Philip Mulgore, together with Eva Kala, appears. And, sorry, I don't have the list. And I don't see my learned friend, Mr. Cheng Odwol, who normally appears for Justice Isaac Lenaola, so I'll allow our colleagues. Oh, I'm sorry. I would have expected him to be seated.
We normally use. My Lord, with your permission, if I could just go down that list. My Lord, with the permission of the senior counsels present, may I introduce the other counsels? We have Mary Sheila Odwor for the executors, Mr. Mwila Bwire for the beneficiaries, Pamela Keane, Anthony Simel Keane, and others. Mr. Ahmed Nasir, SC for Doris Njambi and Caroline Nablu Isendi.
I appear with Mr. Billo.
And Mr. Mulgore also appears. Mr. Mulgore, SC for Catherine Kwabi.
Ruby Kirin is
Magel for Miti and Gary Horizon. Then we have Mosi for Nancy Wamuyu and the objector. And then we have Mr. Morara.
Wamuyu and Silole.
Silole. So, my Lord, there's been a change in representation. I'm told Mr. Haman Omiti and Tom Gardens. My Lord, will be able to give the court an up-to-date list of the appearances. Mr. Mwenda for the second and third.
it could go to the earlier address by me, Philip Mulgore and Eva Kala for the applicant, Victoria Nashora Keane, Catherine Kwabi, and Ruby Karim. Those are the people that we are representing at this point in time.
Yes, my lord. Yesterday we were served with 4 affidavits by Mr. Mulgor, Senior Counsel. One of the affidavits has 937 pages. And we have not even completed going through the same. For that reason, we want seek time to enable us to go through the same, take instructions, and if necessary, respond. Before we can proceed with the hearing, as previously directed by yourself.
Lordship, this matter was before you in May 2025. My Lord, you are categorical. You gave people 21 days. If any party was to file any document, and you were generous in that phraseology. And my Lord, we haggled over time and you accommodated us for 2 days. Today 15th and the 29th of October for hearing. Lordship, the reason why you even accommodated us as so is because we represented to you, speaking for myself, because I represent beneficiaries, my Lord, who have waited too long for conclusion of this matter so that, my Lord, the distribution of this estate can move forward. Lordship, yesterday we were served with several affidavits, one of them by the applicant, the pages that Malani Fen has spoken about. My Lord, 2 removes. The first remove is that that affidavit was filed out of the timelines you stipulated. Secondly, my Lord, that affidavit was filed without leave of court. That affidavit and the other 4 affidavits that were filed. My Lord, of course, the implication of it is that if you are served yesterday and today is matters for hearing, we cannot have been able to regard them, get instructions, and be ready to proceed. Now, my Lord, the hurting effect is this, and my Lord, this is the difficult thing, but may I be so bold as to say it, that, my Lord, if these affidavits were not on record, or if they were to be expunged from record, then we will be able to proceed as designed, because that was our preparation. My Lordship, if these affidavits are for some reason to be admitted on record, then, my Lord, now will be constrained to disrupt the timelines we have been given for hearing, because we cannot be ready in the circumstances. And the implication of that, my Lord, is that then the 2 dates that the court had very graciously given us sink. But the final and most hurtful position, Lordship, is that then we have more delay in securing this matter for hearing. My Lord, as I finish, the gavel is in your hand, but we favor the first position, Lordship, that we clean up the slate, go back to May and proceed. Then, my Lord, my instructions are that if you give us dates, then let those, my Lord, be cast in stone like God does for Moses on Mount Sinai, on the tablet, so that nobody files nothing. At least we move, my Lord. The prejudice is palpable. Most obliged.
My Lord, Omiti, I support things who have spoken. I have to confirm that we were ready for the hearing today, save for the service of the documents that were effected upon us yesterday in the evening. And not for the manner in which the documents have been filed, I think it's clear that the applicants were not ready to proceed with the matter today. Historically, looking at the chronology of events, it has been the habit of this applicant to file and serve documents on the eve of either mention or hearing. My Lord, I want to bring to your attention on the 19th of September 2024, when this matter was to come up for directions on the hearing, the applicant came with an application that was served upon the parties the day before. Lord, you gave timelines for purposes of filing responses, and the parties responded and gave a date on the 21st of May 2025. We came here ready to take a date for the hearing. But Lord, they filed 2 applications on the eve of that date. That again disrupted the proceedings completely. My Lord, to clean up this whole mess, you gave parties very clear directions, and everyone was present and they confirmed that they would comply. The respondents filed their responses on time as directed and were ready to proceed today, only for the applicant, again, in their usual habit, to serve voluminous documents on the eve of the hearing. But Lord, beyond late service, you look at the document they are filed, also confirms that the matter has metamorphosized, because they discuss other things that are not part of the proceedings. But with that as it may, it is our position, my Lord, that these documents that were filed and served upon us yesterday, there are 5 affidavits in total, be expunged from the record. But my Lord, if the court were to retain these documents on record, in which case then we need to respond to them, it is also our prayer that the court puts very strict timelines. And that should be part of the order of this court, that there shall be no extension, and any document filed after that will be part of this proceeding.
And make the following additional submissions. That when a court issues directions and the orders in the nature of filing of responses, those directions have got the force of court orders, which must be obeyed, because that is the obligation of counsel under the overriding objective. So any filing outside the deadline, any filing without leave of the court, any filing that has got the effect of disturbing the scope of what the court has prescribed, in this particular case introducing new issues, is a breach of the court order and directions, is irregular, and there is only one particular action that commends itself to the court. My Lord, to strike out those particular affidavits. The obligation of parties and counsels to assist the court under the overriding objective is sacrosanct, and therefore we urge you to strike out those affidavits, and we proceed with the matter as scheduled. Or justification has been made or presented to the court.
Family succession proceedings. And if there was one type of practitioner that became extinct in Martha's law was the practitioner that used to unduly dwell on technicalities and procedure. Article 159 of the Constitution dealt with such a practitioner. Stop trying to stifle the truth, the facts, evidence through technicalities, matters of procedure, and such. Family division in particular is a court where more often than not lay litigants argue their own cases. So those wazee who used to rely on procedure, technicalities, have now found that that process lies elsewhere, perhaps in international proceedings. But here, the door is always welcome, the door is always open for lay litigants, for lawyers who are coming upon evidence as they go along. Now, in this case, in the present case, the playing field is uneven. Lord, I heard one of my colleagues on the other side say his clients have been waiting for the fruits of their inheritance, and this will result in a further delay. My Lord, I asked the court to look at the court. His clients are not even in court. But on this side are family members of the late John King who are anxious to have their day in court. They have no food on the table. They have no medicine to take care of their medical needs. The last gentleman who walked in was a good friend of mine, Dennis Kidd. Put up your hand. Put up your hand. That gentleman there is a son of the late John King. He suffers from acute medical problems and he has no money. No money to keep him going. I hope he will be with us at the next hearing. While on the other side, the people who control the estate, the multi-billion shilling estate, 17 billion shilling at last count, are not here. They're not here. But they have the funds. They can retain lawyers. They can argue for delays. It doesn't affect the food they have on the table. It doesn't affect the medicine. Now, in addition to that, those who are not here control all the information relating to this estate. The extent of the estate, the transactions in the estate, the intermeddling in the estate as we allege. They also control the medical records that we so desperately seek. And most important, they control all financial records that are relevant to these proceedings. In other words, they have the bank records, the bank statements. On this other side, we have no information. So when they play technical, when I say play technical, they say block out proceedings, block out filings. Proceedings should proceed as they are. They are saying if they have found out, they have not found out anything, then too bad for them. So what has happened, particularly since I came into these proceedings, it has been a long journey of investigations to establish the facts. And the huge mountain of paper you see in front of me is the latest filing, a second supplementary affidavit dated 14th October, filed on 14th October 2027. At page 831 is a letter received from Meto and Company Advocates dated 13th October 2025. we have looked for this advocate, we have looked for this law firm. A law firm indicated to have transacted the property of the deceased. We finally found him, we finally got a letter, and that letter is one where the law firm says they never transacted the very valuable property that they are claimed to have been, they are supposed to have transacted, whose documents are within the file. We've done our best. Our last meeting before you, Your Lordship, is very clear. Your Lordship did not preach to us technicalities, did not tell us, if you don't do this by a certain day, I will guillotine you. Your Lordship, I remember you sitting there saying, the spirit of these proceedings is that you will usher everybody into that stand to state their case. All of you come, state your case, let the court decide. The court did not insist that if anyone is not filed on a certain day, they will be deemed to have been prevented from so doing. I come to what is complained about. As much as they are in affidavit form, they amount to witness statements for the purposes of these proceedings. We're not dealing with an application that must be responded to by way of a further opposing affidavit and finally written submissions. These are merely witness statements. To that extent, they are of course at liberty, and we will never oppose them filing their own witness statements regarding the same. If they wish to take the form of an affidavit, they are free to do so. The whole idea behind viva voce proceedings is not filings per se, but the ability to test whatever anyone says or files by way of cross-examination. My suggestion on the way forward is we have, of course, a list of witnesses we intend to call. And you don't have to record them generally, but I'll quickly read through them. They, for example, are Bank Manager, Credit Bank Limited, Koinange Street, Bank Manager, Branch Manager, Equity Bank, Namanga Branch, Branch Manager, Standard Chartered Bank, Kenya Limited, Dr. Ashok Matharu, Consultant, Doctors Plaza, CEO Aga Khan Hospital Plaza, CEO Karen Hospital, Director Business Registration Service, the Registrar Lands Office Kajiado and Namanga, Rachel Gary Kiarie, Summit Associates, Sylvester Meto of Meto and Company Advocates, Martin Mupengi of Mutisi and Company Advocates, Kimani Kairu Advocate. I'm giving you an example of evidence that is relevant to these proceedings that can only be provided by those witnesses. That evidence is not here. It's not here today because we haven't got witness summons from the court. That does not mean that this evidence is not going to be relevant and will be excluded. We, on our side, have no authority or access. We have been told by them, we have provided their letters, to get information from them. My learned friends' clients have direct access to all of those witnesses, and they have not brought any of that evidence from them to this court. So what I'm trying to say is, this will not be the last time we seek to adduce additional evidence, because it is the nature of these proceedings. They haven't called us to a meeting and provided all the information to us, so that we then can formulate our case and rely on documents that they have provided to us. They have kept us in the dark. That said and done, we oppose the application for adjournment. Our clients have waited as long as they have waited for the determination of this case, but more painfully because they have had no food or medicine to keep them strong enough for the delay. We have in court Victoria Key, the applicant. We have in court Catherine Kwabi, who has come all the way from the States for this hearing, and she hopes to testify before she goes back. And so we think the best use of time for this court is that we proceed. They are at liberty to put in their statements or their affidavits because their witnesses are not in the stand, and we will deal with their witnesses when they come. There is also, of course, the inherent power of the court to permit recall of witnesses. But in so saying, the case will move forward. My Lord, I just say one last thing. So unfair is the situation that we have a situation where all these people on this side are not allowed to visit their father and mother's grave on where they were buried. Why? Because somebody who is represented by my colleagues on that side claims that the land was given to her. We have provided evidence to show how that land was transferred. But what I'm saying is there's even emotional pain. It's emotional pain. And I personally took my client Victoria down to her father's resting place, and we were denied access. Fortunately, there was a side gate open, and she had access, and she paid her respects to her father and mother's grave. What I'm trying to say is, time is not helping the situation. The earlier we start, the better. We have reached out to our learned friends many times for some sort of compromises, including access to the graves, and we get no response. So, an adjournment today will hurt our clients more than theirs. We request to proceed. As for expunging court record, I think the law is clear. Once filed, the court should look at it. The only remedy is that they be given a chance to respond. And for that, we go on record as having no objection.
It's in Jambi and Caroline Napluk Kent for adjournment. And it's unfortunate that in this country, my Lord, especially in our courts, they're so low that when a lawyer says that, or is 50 paragraphs, the counsel sees that as such a good ground that is a good ground to scuttle hearing. Of all cases like this one, which is in its 8th year in this court, my Lord. My Lord, I plead with this court that we raise the standard and we make difficult for counsel to scuttle case like this one, just because counsel has been served with an affidavit of, and this affidavit, my Lord, there is nothing unique about this affidavit. My learned friend just collected the information so that he can bring all the information to the court. This is information they have kept from the court. This is information they should have disclosed to the court. Philip, my Lord, and he should be commended, has been doing a lot of investigation. So every time he gets a new document, which they have concealed from the court, which they are the author of, he brings it to court. I mean, they can't punish Philip and the other clients for bringing to court documents they have concealed from court. My Lord, my learned friend has alluded to it a little bit, but let me expound, my Lord. My Lord, this is a trial court. Now we are at a trial stage. We are not at an interlocutory stage where a counsel can say that I have been served this affidavit. Since the trial is by affidavit, I need more time to respond to this. My Lord, this is now a trial court. The affidavits are not affidavits for trial. The affidavits, my Lord, are witness statements. My learned friends have their own witness statements. Each party has put on their respective witness statement. My Lord, we are doing an oral trial. There is viva voce evidence. My learned friend will call his first witness and he will lead. And my lord, that witness, I've seen the list. If you look at the list by my learned friend, the applicant will take considerable time to lead evidence in chief. That time is enough for my learned friends to look at these documents. If it's new to them, of course it's not new to them. And as I've said, these are documents they have authored themselves. So there is no need, my lord, to adjourn the matter today so that they can have sight of the documents. They will have ample time as we go ahead with this trial. And I'm sure that Philip and his clients will take about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to lead evidence. My lord, lastly, and I think also Philip has touched on this, my lord, look at the parties who are seeking adjournment. These are parties whose best strategy is for this matter never to see the light of the day. They control the estate, the vast estate. They are enjoying the vast estate to the exclusion of all the rightful beneficiaries. Philip rightly says that they are not present here, only their lawyers are present. But the people who want to proceed with this matter, my lord, they are all here because they are suffering. The people on the right are suffering, those on the left are enjoying it, and they want to ensure that this case never goes for trial. My lord, I don't want to waste a lot of time on this mundane application, but my lord, I pray that you decline to adjourn the matter. Let my learned friend call his fourth witness, and let us proceed with this trial. If my learned friends want to now adduce more evidence, they will do as we go on with the trial, my lord.
All in court, except Clifford King and Lydia King, who will be joining the hearing following the proceedings by way of Zoom. We will inconvenience them, but are in the US, but they will be able to follow the proceedings. On behalf of my clients, we oppose the application for an adjournment. They have been waiting for this day since 2015. It's their time to showcase their claim. Thank you.
Administrators of the estate of the late Maina Bashir. Well, although I am on the left side of my two learned senior counsels, the administrators of the estate of Maina Washira are laymen. They have never interacted with the documents of this estate. But there are serious allegations to which they must answer. And there are also prayers that have been sought against them in the applications before the court. Having never interacted with the documents in this case, they will be prejudiced if they are compelled to proceed before they have a sight of the pleadings, especially the affidavits, the 5 affidavits filed in the last few days. My lord, I must confess, the 900-page document, I've not even finished binding it in order to send it to them. One of the administrators resides in Nyeri, the other one is in Nairobi. So as far as those two parties are concerned, the prejudice to them would be gross and real. I would also want to state for the record, my lord, that the parties on the left side of the councils, the senior councils, have been accused of benefiting from the estate. My clients do not benefit or have never benefited from the estate of John Keane. They only came into these proceedings by virtue of doing an honorable duty of administering the estate of the late Maina Washira. My lord, one of them told me in jest that if he knew administering the estate of a deceased member of the public would expose them to the kind of things they are going through, they would have declined probate. But unfortunately, they did not, because we did not anticipate these proceedings. In the circumstances, my lord, I'll be feeling inadequate to represent them in the absence of instructions from them. When my learned colleague, my learned senior counsel, Mulgo, read the list of proposed witnesses that he intends to call, he mentioned the name of P. Kemani Cairo, advocate. My lord, that is the administrator of the law firm of Maina Washira, appointed in accordance with the provisions of the LSK Act. And that information has been in his possession all these years. But he chose to bring the lay administrators of the estate, who are basically administering the personal property in the village of the deceased. Were it Mr. Kemani Kailo, my lord, I would be able to drag him to court, because he would be able to pick up and be able to give even instructions on his feet. But unfortunately, I don't have that luxury. In the circumstances, I find myself at a crossroad, but I leave this matter to the court. I would wish the court gives a direction that each and every party files all the documents they wish to file, so that then we don't arrive for a hearing and we are being surprised with documents on our feet. Thank you, Honored.
After us, so if I respond first, then Mr. Roll, if he has leave, can do so. Very short.
Is almost neutral.
I just want to set the record straight.
Yes.
Very, very small. Indeed, his clients have indicated they have no records and information. We should ask P. Kimani Karu. We have asked P. Kimani Karu. He has said he has no records. The records were taken by Pamela Keane, who is represented on that side. She is the fifth respondent. So we have attended to her. But what I wanted to say is this, my lord, that as you would like us to file everything all in one go so that we proceed, we have already explained. They have all the records as administrators, as the P. Kimani Kairu, as the, so we are just fishing and finding, and when we find, we bring it. We are very conscious of that. We wish they would give us everything, and then we would outline our case once and for all. So really, he should understand.
Well, I've listened to the objection by counsel. This is a court of law that is governed by the Constitution and operative laws. Article 159 has never been a license to ignore procedural guidelines in every particular case. What we're talking about here is the right to a fair trial, which is ring-fenced by Article 25 and the values under Article 10. Lord, we cannot litigate through ambush. We cannot get rid of fairness. And my lord, the family court or succession court is not exempted from compliance with the mandatory tenets of Article 50, 25, and Article 10. My lord, what counsels are asking the court is to ignore these mandatory constitutional provisions. The basic tenet of a fair trial is having ample notice of every single little case or document that one is called upon, the nature of the case. My lord, you'll have it on record. How many times has this case mutated? First, it was reasonable provision. Then they moved on to forgery. They moved on to mental infirmity. And all these people had lawyers in the first instance. The mere fact that they've got new lawyers does not change the fact that they had representation. If they're saying that their previous lawyers were incompetent, that is not to be visited upon us. And my lord, the mere fact that you've gotten a new lawyer does not mean you panel beat your case and ignore what is on record. And my lord, lastly, to remind my learned friends that judicial authority is vested in the court. The best that a party can do, or an advocate, is to plead to the court, not to direct the court. Because advocates and litigants cannot usurp judicial authority. My learned friend, Senior Counsel Ahmed Nasir, says the threshold for scuttling a case has been lowered. But this is what we are complaining about, that they are guilty of the very, very thing that they themselves are doing. And the documents put before the court by way of these 5 voluminous affidavits, have these documents been obtained from the respondents? The witnesses that they seek to call, are those witnesses in the control of the respondents, the bank managers, the lawyers cited? My lord, on the issue of the allegations of this side enjoying the estate, my lord, we must look at the nature of succession causes. The people who are saying they are now dying of hunger, etc., etc. What is the nature of a succession cause? Determine the validity of the will. Distribute residual estate to those who are dependents. Were all these persons who are now alleged to be beneficiaries living on a day-to-day basis in the late John King's house? The answer is no. My lord, all we are seeking is fairness in the process of litigation. And my lord, it is not right when counsel files those particular voluminous affidavits and come to court and seek to blame the other side for seeking to be treated fairly. We humbly pray that this adjournment be allowed. There must be fairness in litigation. Because that is a fundamental right that cannot be abridged under Article 25. We humbly submit.
about the parties and their submissions on 21st of May 25, I directed that the parties ought to file their further affidavits and with their statements within 21 days. That was an order of this court beside other directions. It's true that the further voluminous affidavits filed by the objectors were done way after 21 days and without the leave of the court. All were served upon the parties as late as yesterday. Obviously, they need time to respond to the same. The court, as well as the parties, are in agreement that this matter must proceed by all means. Much time has been wasted on trivial and procedural issues which do not assist the court as well as the parties. For the sake of fairness and taking cue under Rule 73 of Cap 160 and Article 159 of the Constitution, I direct as follows. This matter shall proceed today as scheduled. 2, the objector shall not refer to the affidavits filed on 14 October 2025. These are the same affidavits. In their proceeding today, the said affidavits filed on 14 October 2025 are deemed properly filed. The respondents granted 14 days to file and serve any responses to the said affidavits, with leave to the objectors to file any responses within 7 days after service. Number 5, no affidavits or applications shall be filed by any party hereafter without the leave of the court. So we will proceed, but please.
One of the beneficiaries, Edward King.
Yes.
Pursuant to your directions on the 21st of May to have witness statements written for the witnesses.
Yes.
Bound by the judgment of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
We have one witness who is likely to take the whole day. I think this is an appropriate case for an opening statement, otherwise you wouldn't know where we are going.
Before then,
Yes.
ordinarily we have people working on those witnesses. Sometimes the cases depend on the isn't it? I'm mixed up because I have no idea who is who. Please, if there is a witness who is not a family member and a beneficiary in the course, and you are likely to call him or her, I'm saying now across the board, please they will have to go out so that you know the procedures and you don't have to so
I think
ordinarily that
Dennis is.
This is my client. Yes. If it sits in.
No.
Yes. Yes.
A multi-billionaire. I've got diarrhea, coughing the whole night for 2 days. It's a sad situation, and I'm crying because I don't know what to do. They can't, these people who manage these estates can't take me to hospital. I've got a debt of 500,000 in the hospital waiting for me. I don't know what to do. It's very sad.
Your Honor, if I put it in perspective.
It's very sad, Your Honor, for me to be in this situation. I haven't eaten for 2 days. Imagine, a human being like me, I haven't eaten for 2 days.
Are you married? You have a family?
I've got a family, but they live in the US.
They live in the US. Do you have children?
I've got one child in the US.
In the US?
Yeah.
And your spouse?
But unfortunately, I suffered a stroke. I'm a disabled person now. I'm not able to walk. I've got pain in my leg. I can't walk 2 meters.
Thank you.
I'm the son of a billionaire, John King.
Yeah, you said your I wanted to hear your voice. But where are the keys? Let's hold on the man also key order.
They're not able to pay by bills.
Yeah, I've had you. Just sit down.
The sad situation.
You people, that is your brother or step brother. Namona people. What's wrong with you people? You think this lawyer will solve your problems? How do you leave somebody to suffer a sham?
You know, that's what the problem is.
This is me talking to them. I'm addressing everybody who belongs to Kim.
You're talking to the wrong side.
I'm so annoyed.
You're talking to the wrong
This is
side.
the wrong side. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Are these the children of kings?
They have nothing.
Yes.
They have nothing.
Can I speak?
You know, you're raising emotions here, which I don't want to raise because...
Let us speak. Let the elders...
Just sit down, everybody. I don't want to be emotional involved with the issue. But just sit down. We will address it as we finish. But all that I'm saying, you can't let that Mzee die. Usually, you are the guys who are on the left or on the right. Please, where is humanity?
Exactly.
Where is humanity? Where is humanity, you people? I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Please, lawyers who are here, please, it's unfortunate. Who controls the past?
Mary Sheila. Clients.
All right. Please, it's just that I wanted him to talk because he has raised his hand, but I feel what all of you are feeling. I know you would have told me much. Everybody has a story here, but please, I really feel for him.
Can I say something about his suffering?
No.
You know, it's a solution because you have expressed yourself, but you haven't directed a solution. Can I offer a solution? Just in 2 minutes.
Where is the money?
No, I will tell you where the money is. My Lord, with great respect, even though we... At paragraph 9 of that will, the deceased is supposed to have directed that the income from plot number 3735 Namanga, which is leased to Equity Bank, that income from that place be given for the upkeep of his mother, who is now deceased, and Dennis.
But Sheila, that's what the will says.
Paragraph 9.
Does the will say that? Without prejudice.
That is what he says. There's an order by Justice Aroni, by consent of the parties for release of monies to him. That money is paid to him. I can only get you details of the exact account where the money is paid. But once it's paid to him, what happens? It cannot be
So there's the money going to him?
Is the money going to him monthly?
There is money paid to him monthly. These are not out of the court. I think it was issued in 2021. I can be able to get the account.
We'll discuss whether that is.
Thank you.
Because you see, he's part and parcel of us as humanity. We need to do that. But if there is some order which has been given by my sister some years back, please
that account.
Maybe
he doesn't know. He's unwell. He doesn't know he has an account with a lot of money.
He receives nothing.
All right, good people, let's begin. Please.
Okay.
Let's begin.
It was filed on the 1st of February 2017 by the respondents led by Klenaola. And it was at that point a cause to prove a will and testament dated 22nd of December 2015. From the outset, with the limited information, and I would say on the advice of their then lawyers, the applicant, I speak for the applicant, amongst others of what I will call the first house, limited their challenge to applying for reasonable provision. I repeat, based on available evidence and based on advice of their then lawyers, of her then lawyer. A judgment was finally delivered on this single issue by Justice Muchelule of the High Court, as he then was, on the 24th of January 2023. An appeal against that judgment is pending. In the meantime, an application for stay of proceedings was made in the Court of Appeal and was disallowed on the 26th of July 2024. Arising again out of those proceedings and based on certain advice, there is an application for matrimonial property, which is OS E016 of 2023, which is pending before the High Court. So, at some point, many years after the first process had started, there was discovery of fresh evidence impugning the validity of the signatures on the will, dated 2nd December 2015, and an application dated 25th September 2024 was filed, which has given rise to this viva voce hearing. Upon disclosure by sworn affidavit by the fifth respondent, Pamela Keane, and one Bernard Keane of the same house, in affidavits sworn on 1st November 2024 and 25th November 2024, respectively, it was disclosed that the deceased suffered from a terminal mentally debilitating Parkinson's disease, and I believe it was the affidavit of the fifth respondent. A medical report was provided to court from Aga Khan Hospital confirming that the deceased indeed suffered from terminal mentally debilitating Parkinson's disease. As a consequence, the applicant also filed an application dated 19th May 2025 for the annulment of the will, and that application is now for disposal by way of viva voce evidence. I go on. It is the case of the applicant that she is the firstborn daughter of the deceased within the marriages and also a beneficiary of the estate. We shall prove that the mother of the applicant was in fact married to the deceased under the statutory law then prevailing. We shall also prove that the deceased married two other wives under customary law. One is the fourth respondent, Rosemary, and the other is the lady by the name of Jane Wamuyu Kim, and the affidavits will provide a schedule of their children. We have another house that is not a house within the meaning of the law of succession, which we call it the second house. The second house is led by the fifth respondent in terms of children, but the mother of these children was not married by the deceased. She simply cohabited, had 5 children, and then went off and married somebody else in the United States. So the case that we bring to this court is one that embraces everybody. The deceased also left behind 10 children born outside his marriages. I don't wish to give their names, but state that the deceased very proudly recognized all his children, including those married, born out of the wedlocks, as I have stated. We shall also, it is common ground that the deceased finally succumbed to his terminal illnesses on the 25th of December 2016 at the age of 88 years, suffering from inter alia, Parkinson's disease, and heart failure. A death certificate, which is not contested, will be produced confirming the cause of his death. The applicant will also prove that prior to his death, for 10 years, he was living with the wife called Jane Dean. And the applicant will also prove that it is only in the last few weeks of his life, when he was hospitalized, that the fourth respondent, who no longer enjoyed a good relationship with her husband, took him out of the hospital he was admitted, took him to a different hospital, whereupon she became, in quotes, the next of kin. For the few weeks left of his life, the fourth respondent controlled his affairs and access to the deceased. It is common ground that the deceased was finally buried on his Osilalei farm, Osilalei farm, on the 30th of December 2016. It is also common ground that after the funeral, one of the sons, Anthony Simelkin, went around the family members, informing them that there would be a will reading at the family home on the 4th of January 2017 at the deceased's home in Karen. It is also common ground that a so-called will was read out on the 4th of January 2017. What the applicant will prove is that the person who read this will, the late Maina Washira, removed the document from his briefcase, which was not in a sealed envelope, and proceeded to read it. I believe it is common ground that immediately upon reading of the purported or the so-called will, protests, the members of the first family immediately protested what they saw as an incredible distribution within that. Incredible in the sense that they got little or nothing, while members of the second house and third house got almost everything. To the minds, the applicant will prove that there was no reason for a father who loved all of them equally to have done so, leading to them believing that there was something false about this purported will. It will also struck the applicant and members of his family that the executors of the will were the first respondent, Justice Isaac Lenaola, 2, Maina Wachira, 3, Rosemary, and 4, Pamela Keane. To them, the applicant and the family, those 4 individuals were not necessarily that close to the deceased. To the contrary, they were very close and had relationships amongst themselves that would present a huge conflict of interest. The 4 executors named in the will did not proceed to declare their relationships or their potential conflicts of interest, which is part of the case that will be presented by the applicant. In addition, the first respondent, Justice Isaac Lenaola, was not permitted by law to be an executor or executor or trustee in the estate. But despite that, he took up an appointment. I move on. It is the applicant's case that the deceased in his right mind would not have appointed the 4. And we shall state the reasons or prove the reasons. We shall prove, the applicant shall prove, that on account of the extraordinary and undue relationships between the 4, the estate has suffered through the fraudulent intermeddling with the estates of the deceased. And I should have emphasized from the beginning, the grant has not been confirmed. The grant has not been confirmed. Probate has not been proved. The law of the land, which is the law all over the world, is that before confirmation of the grant, no free property of the deceased can be alienated. The 4 executors, the 4 respondents, jointly embarked on fraudulently intermeddling with the estates of the assets of the estate without sanction of the court, and in any case before the confirmation of the grant of probate. We will prove that this is an offense under Section 45, which makes one liable to punishment with a fine or imprisonment. The applicant will also prove that when she had assembled enough sample signatures to compare with those on the last will and testament dated 2nd December 2015, it was submitted to a forensic examination, and the signatures of the deceased were all found to be forgeries.
applicant will also prove that in the properties which were then transferred before grant of probate, signatures of the deceased were also found to be forgeries. The applicant continued in her quest to establish the truth, and we shall prove that, the applicant will prove, that the signatures of the deceased in numerous returns of the various companies that belong to him, largely belong to him, and which are mentioned in the will, and I name them: Coast Development Limited, J. Keen Investments Limited, and Reson Gardens. Many of the returns and documents filed were also of the in those documents, the signature of the deceased was found to have been forged. Despite difficulty, the applicant will show that she was able to access the lands records in respect of land that belonged to the deceased at the point of his death, have since been transferred to the fourth and fifth respondent and other interested parties. So, to conclude, in this opening address, the applicant will be urging the court to find, on account of the deceased lacking testamentary capacity and on account of the signatures being found on the will to have been forgeries, she will be seeking that the grant of probate with written will dated 4th April 2014 be revoked pursuant, after annulment, of course, of the will. The applicant will also be seeking for an order for the administration of the estate to then proceed under the rules governing intestacy. Subject to your jurisdiction, the applicant will also be asking that the court to find that the first respondent, as a judge of the Supreme Court, having been appointed on the 28th of October 2016 to the Supreme Court, in accepting to be an executor of the estate, and by the manner in which he conducted his duties as an executor and trustee, violated the Judicial Code of Conduct, and in particular Rule 710 of the Judicial Service Code of Conduct of Ethics 2016, which provides that a judge shall not serve as an administrator, executor, or trustee of any estate except the estate of a member of the judge's family, only if such service will not interfere with proper performance of judicial duties. My Lord, Justice Isaac Lanola served in the position of trustee and executor for nearly 4 years, during which numerous criminal acts were committed by him or by him jointly with the other purported executors. So that really is the outline of the case we shall be seeking to file. Thank you. Speak up.
Okay.
Everybody will want to hear you, and in particular the court.
Victoria Nashora King.
Watch. That's not loud enough.
Oh, okay, sorry. My full names are Victoria Nashora King, a daughter of the Honorable John Keane and Mrs. Gladwell Keane, late,
Okay.
both of them.
I was only asking about your name. Joaquin. How old are you? I'm sorry, they'll have to know all of them.
I'm 67 years old.
I think everybody thought you were 40 years old.
Oh,
So, 60 years old, and whose daughter are you?
Honorable John Keane and Sir John Keane, my dad, died December 2015. December 25th, 2016.
When did your mother die?
My mom died 11th of August, 2020. Dad died. There were a lot of issues. There were a lot of medical issues. Some being the
ones you remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had Parkinson's disease. He had a poor heart.
Okay.
He was asthmatic. Yeah, amongst others.
Okay. Now let's go to your mother. When did she die?
Mom died on the 11th of August, 2020.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, and
what was the cause of her death?
Mom had dementia.
Dementia.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did your father have any other? Okay. How did he marry your mother, first of all?
They got married in church in Kabete, 1957, 21st December.
So your mother was married in the formal process through the church?
Yes, she was.
Okay.
He had two other wives married under the customary law, Rosemary Keane and Jane Wamuyu Keane.
Jane Wamuyu Keane. Those are the only two?
Those are the only two.
Okay. You have heard me describe in the opening address the issue of another house. Please explain that house in quotes. What is the nature of that house? Did you have any other family members that formed a cluster?
Yes. The second house, the mother was my mother's younger sister.
So in order of coming into the house, there was first house, so you say now there's second house, okay?
Yes.
So go ahead.
So the second house, the mother of those 5 children,
name?
Rose, Mary Jerry Annette.
Okay.
Skolcom.
No, just give us the names, maiden names.
Of my...
That lady. Mary Jerry Annette.
Annette.
Okay. And tell us about how she...
How she came home?
Well, yes. Why she's not a wife?
According to relatives and...
Who was she in relation to your mother?
She was my mother's younger sister.
Okay. And how did she come into your home?
She came home, she must have been about 17 years old. And Mama just, had just gotten married. She had a couple of kids. And
are you talking of what you know or what you are talking?
What you know? Is that you know that as your own personal knowledge? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good point. What do you know how she came into your home? Were you told by your mother?
We were told by her mother and relatives that she came in.
Just stick to your mother because
my mom.
you're not.
Okay, sorry. And she came home and she,
No, what I'm asking.
Yes.
No,
Honor.
Say what you're told.
I shouldn't say what I'm told. Okay.
Okay, let's ask you.
do you know Mary Jerry Annette?
Yes, I do.
You do. Who was she?
She was my mother's sister and she was my aunt.
Okay. And are you aware that she then came into your home?
Yes, I'm aware.
You saw her in your home even as a child?
Yes, I did.
Now, so carry on from there, rather than what you were told. What became of her? What did she do that was extraordinary?
Well, she ended up having 5 children.
With who?
With my father, Mr. Keane. After which, I don't know what I should say.
Yes.
She.
Wait. 5 children, name them by first names because everyone will be called Keane.
All right, so there was the first one, daughter was Hilda, followed by Anthony, followed by Pamela, Bernard, and the last one was Edward.
Pamela?
Bernard and Edward.
Okay.
So there were 5 of them.
And is Pamela, what's her Pamela's full name?
Pamela Soila Keane.
Is she the 5th respondent in your case?
Yes, she is.
One of the executors of this in this matter?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Was she married by your father, if you know?
My stepmother.
Mary yeah, was she married by custom or any other process?
No, she wasn't. Because when they had a couple of kids, when my father went to pay dowry to my grandparents, who were staunch Christians, they actually refused the dowry. Since they claim, again it's hearsay, since they
No, we don't want hearsay.
Okay, sorry.
Did your father marry, to your knowledge, did your father marry Mary, Jerry, and Annette by customary law?
No, he
did not.
He didn't.
Did Mary, Jerry, Annette consider herself a wife of John Keane, as far as you know?
As far as I know, no, she didn't.
Okay.
She left and moved to the United States, where she married somebody else, leaving her 5 children in the care of my mother, Mrs. Keane Gladwell.
So get us to understand that. She had 5 children, didn't get married, left 5 kids with your mother, and went off to the United States and married another person.
Yes, she did.
Okay. Have you provided evidence of that marriage in the United States in your documents?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Do you recall which year she left?
Around about 1974. Yeah, around about 1974.
So you've explained why in this home there are actually only 3 wives.
Yes.
Okay. Now that you have named children of Mary and Jerry, please tell us who your brothers and sisters are. In the home of Gladwell, name the children, first names only.
Okay. Starting with me, Victoria. I have my younger sister, Lydia, followed by Nicholas. And then I have the twins, which are here, Dennis and Eva.
Okay. Dennis and Eva?
Yeah.
Just raise your hands. Okay.
Followed by one brother, James Superior, who passed away. And the last one is Clifford.
So those were the children of the first house.
Yes.
You have named the second house, which didn't have a mother, a wife, but had children. Then you have, what's the third house is headed by which wife?
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Yes.
What's Rosemary's full name?
Rosemary Sanau.
Yeah.
She's the 4th respondent.
Now Keane, she's the 4th respondent. And then the third wife?
Jane Wamoyo Keane. She has one daughter, Silole.
In your documents, I noticed in the earlier pleadings, you had indicated that the deceased later married 3 other wives under customary law. Do you wish to correct that it is 2, not 3?
It is 2, not 3.
Okay. So, tell us about the relationships in your home generally. How did your father, with 3 wives and an extra home, handle all of you? I mean, what is the relationship?
My father used to say that when you marry 1 wife, that's 1 headache. When you marry 2 wives, 2 headaches, and on and on. But being a Maasai and an African gentleman, he could be harsh, he could be loving in terms of, I understand African men, when they love their wives, they beat their wives. So that's the kind of relationship they had.
So when African men love their wives, they beat their wives. So I want to ask, and who did he beat in this compound of his?
Most of them.
Most? Okay, who do you mean?
Okay, let me talk.
They've got names.
Yeah, my mother,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
and Rosemary.
Yes.
The only person I can't vouch for is Mamoyo.
You can't vouch that she was beaten?
Yeah.
Okay. But that was how he handled his affairs?
His personal affairs,
How
yeah.
about to his children?
Same thing. We were all beaten, loved in equal measures. Yeah.
Did your father ever show discrimination or hatred towards any of his children? Discrimination, meaning, alienating them, pushing them aside. His own children, the children. Okay. Okay, how did I think maybe you can just answer that last. Did he ever discriminate against any children?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. What was that about?
There were incidences where, some children would be taken to outings and others were left behind. Yeah. And that included his wife.
Included his wife.
Yeah.
So that's how he handled his home. Of the 3 wives, you described the relationship with your mother. And you described the nature of the relationship. What type of relationship did you have with your mother the first time?
Initially, it was a very good relationship. They were friends. And even over the years, because I think they got so used to each other and on and off, because she lived in a different house from him and the other women, he would come over to check on her and vice versa. Yeah.
In other words, was it a good or bad relationship?
It was an okay relationship.
An okay relationship.
Yes.
Did he in any way celebrate the long marriage to her?
That he did. On their 50th wedding anniversary, they had a huge wedding. Everybody was invited, and
50th wedding anniversary. Remember the year?
It was in December. I'll have to confirm that.
But you remember it was 50th wedding anniversary?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Celebrated. Everybody was invited.
Everybody, friends.
Okay, everybody. You mean friends and
family?
And family.
Yes. They renewed their vows, and yeah.
And that's all in your documents. With the other 2 wives, do you recall any celebration of anniversary?
No, not that I know of.
Not that you know.
No.
I'm now talking about Rosemary and Jane.
Yeah, no.
What was, you indicated that you're the firstborn daughter of the first house.
Yes.
Just for the record, was there any other child born of John King that was older than you?
Yes, my beloved sister Catherine, who's here. She's 3 months older than I am.
technically, she's the eldest.
Technically,
by
yes.
counting years and months.
Yes.
But let's now go to the other class of children that are featured in these proceedings. Did you know of any other children?
Yes, because...
Tell us about that phenomenon.
Yeah. Mzee loved his children, whether they were from the Boma or from other mothers. And we had a good relationship with my half-sister.
Mzee, the deceased, have children outside the Boma?
Yes, he did.
Yes, so tell us about, before you tell us about how he loved them, how would you know these children existed?
He brought them home.
He brought them home?
Yes.
And what would he do when he brought them home?
He brought them, introduced us, relatives, sisters, brothers, played together.
Give us an example how he brings a child home.
Okay, like my sister Catherine, she must have been 12 or 13 thereabout. One afternoon, a beautiful young girl comes in, and we introduce, this is your sister. Okay. And that was it.
Mzee would bring in a pretty young girl and say, this is your sister. That is the law, that is the order. Okay. So, please, so that everyone, I believe, will testify on their own, give us a list of those children in that category. Mzee's children in that category.
Okay.
Maybe in order of age, if you can organize it for us.
Yeah, we have Catherine.
Okay.
We had Martha, brother Bernard.
Martha. You have a second name? Let's go back to number one. Catherine's name is?
Oh, Catherine Kwabi.
Kwabi.
Catherine Resson Kwabi.
Catherine Resson, I emphasize Resson Kwabi.
Yes.
Next?
We had Martha Nashabai.
Martha Nashabai.
We have Salome Navanoi.
The court is writing everything.
Oh, sorry.
Then we have?
Salome Navanoi.
That's a difficult one. Salome?
Navanoi.
You'll have to spell that for the judge.
Naipooi. Noi. Thank you.
Okay. So, Judge, you have that? No? Okay.
Then we have Carol Nabulu.
And Carol Nabulu. And Carol, you can stand. Okay. Next.
We have Ruby Karini.
Ruby Karini. Stand. Okay.
There are others that...
you can name them even if they're not here.
There's a girl called Susan. Yeah.
And
there should be more, but I'm sorry, I cannot hear.
There are more, but you can't hear.
Yes. Because these are the people that we...
No, it's okay. Her answer is there are more, but she can't remember.
Yeah. But these are the ones that we grew up and we knew.
So you grew up with them and you knew?
We knew them, yeah.
When you say you grew up together, how did you grow up together?
Events at home, they would come. When Carol was getting married, we were all there. Salome, the same thing. When her husband passed away, we were all there for the other children.
How about Doris Jambi?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm so sorry. I forgot about Doris Jambi.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
She also? Say what it is.
Yeah. So Doris she was born around 1964. I only got to know her about 3 years ago. And it's because of Doris that we're here today. Because if it wasn't for Doris, filing for her case in 2017, this would have been a done deal.
Okay. So the general statement you've made is that the deceased would bring any of his children from outside wedlock, bring them and introduce them, and they were known to you as family.
Yes.
So let's move on from that. Did he support those children?
Yes, he did. He did. Yes, he did. Medically, financially, education, when he could.
Okay, when he could. Back to the children of Mary, Njeri, Annette, you told us about one day when she departs and leaves the children with your mother. Who is it who thereafter raised those children?
My mother did.
Your nurse by the name of?
Gladwell.
Gladwell. Now to towards the end of Mze's life. By the time, maybe you can give us the sequence. How did Mze live with his respective wives? Give us the sequence so that we can ask you the question. Or how was the homestead of Mze Kini? You have taken me to that homestead, but I think the court needs an explanation. How did he arrange his home?
So each wife, except my mother, had a house built for them. And of course, after he got married, when he married my mother, when they're living in a mud hut in Ngoroi, and then he moved into Karen and, had this relationship with my mother's sister and had their 5 children. He lived with her. And then once she left, my mother left Ngoroi, which is near Kiserian, came to live in Karen with all these children.
So let's start at the beginning. The first home he had, who did he live with?
My mom.
Your mother?
Yes.
In where?
In Ngoroi.
In Ngoroi.
Near Kiserian.
Near Kiserian. Then after that, he lived?
Then he moved into a house in Hardy, where, that's the time when Pamela was born. And
which is the house that your mother brought her sister to help?
In Ngoroi.
In Ngoroi?
Yes.
Okay. And you said she started having children. Then what happened?
Then Mary, Annette, Jerry moved to ECD, where she stayed for a period of time. Before now, Mze bought the property in Karen, and then she moved there and,
And lived with him there?
Lived with him there. So after she left, he brought my mom into...
He left for the States?
Yes. He brought my mom, and that became her home.
Okay.
Yes.
The Karen home?
Yes.
Okay.
So after that, when Rosemary came onto the picture, of course, he lived with her, and then eventually Wamoyo came in, and he moved in with Wamoyo for the last...
One second. It's complicated. There's a house, Mze is living with Gladwell, his wife, correct? Then what happens when Rosemary comes?
So he moves into another house.
There's another house in the compound?
Yes.
Where Rosemary now lives?
Not now.
Where she was put up?
Yeah.
So Mze moved?
And then Mze moved into there with her, and then eventually when Wamoyo came into the...
Slowly with Rosemary. Do you remember when that was? In approximate years?
About 76, 1976.
The wife called Rosemary King comes now?
Around there.
Then he moves in with her?
Yes.
And you remember the year the third wife comes?
Wamoyo was introduced into the home around 2000.
Okay.
Yes.
Around 2000?
Yes. But she had been on the scene long before that because they already had a child.
What I'm asking is, when does she come in as a wife? Not necessarily, when does she become a wife?
When she came into the Boma, that was about 2000.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what happened? Where does she reside?
He built her a house, and that's where she lived with Dad until he started getting sick in around 2016, mid-2016.
So the year again was
2016.
No, when she moves in.
She came into the Boma around 2000.
2000.
2000, but she actually moved in permanently around 2007 when they had finished building a house for her on the compound.
So from 2007 to the time he died, who was he living with?
Wamoyo.
Wamoyo.
Until the last few months of his life.
I will come to the last few months. So the period he was living with Wamoyo. You have explained how Mary Njeri exits. Okay? How about what was the relationship with Rosemary Sanao, with your father, that you knew, as far as you know?
From the outside, it looked all right, but you know, like every married couple, I guess they had their own issues.
Okay, what was the issue? You know?
Infidelity could have been one, and that's the reason why at some point in 1994, around November, she left the homestead for 6 years.
So you say one of the reasons was infidelity, and that's why in
1994, around November.
Yes.
Yeah.
She left the homestead for about 6 years.
Yes. And left her children with my mother.
2 children, names,
Oh,
reminders?
yes, Cindy and Samuel.
The leaving, what causes the leaving? Does she walk out or is she asked to leave?
She was asked to leave.
She was asked to leave.
Yeah.
Do you know who the infidelity was with?
Yes.
Yes, who was it?
A gentleman called Brian Nyongo.
Brian Nyongo.
Nyongo, yes.
Okay. She stays out for 6 years, and so explain the sequence to the 4th house, or to the 3rd house, 4th house, not 4th wife.
Well, after Rosemary left for 6 years, and then of course the Wazes came to intercede on her behalf, and she came back home. At that time, I think the relationship between Dad and Wamoyo was being cemented, and I think that's when Wamoyo came into the home.
In other words, I'm asking you, did your father ever resume, while he was not sick, to living with Rosemary?
On and off, yes.
Okay.
On and off, yes.
Okay. Even when Wamoyo was in the compound?
Yes.
So let us move to the father's health. Health, we see pictures here and there. Will you tell us something about his health? What you know about his health, when he was strong, when he starts aging, etc.
From my understanding, he started really ailing around.
Okay, perhaps I stop you for a second. I forgot to ask you something. You've given us children of various houses, okay? Including now yourselves. Were you all supported by your father?
Yes, he took us to school.
That's what I mean. Supported, schools, etc.
Yes.
And in particular, including you.
Including me, yes.
And maybe further question, all the children of the first house.
Yes.
Fully supported.
We were all supported, we were educated, and he was there for us, yes.
I forgot to ask you about your education. Your education, what
Yes. I started off in Karen Primary School. I moved on to Highlands in Eldred for my secondary education, after which I ended up in Italy because that's my forte, hospitality. And after a year, after Kenya Italy College, I worked for about 2 years and then went to the UK for further studies.
Spoken so fast, I'm wondering how much the court has captured. So you just the milestones. You went to primary school in
Primary.
Primary?
Yes.
Secondary?
Secondary was Highlands in Eldred.
Highlands in Eldred.
Then Kenya Utali College.
Kenya Utali College.
And then after working for about 2 years in the hospitality industry, I went to the UK for further studies.
Further studies
Yes.
in what?
In hospitality management.
Hospitality. And places you have worked?
The longest place I have worked has been the Serena Group of Hotels for more than 35 years. Then after which I retired, but not tired, and went into consultancy.
35 years in Serena?
Yeah.
Went into consulting for
Yes.
in the hospitality
In the
industry.
hospital, yeah.
Was your father proud of your achievements?
Yes, he was.
How do you know?
Because one of the last consultancies that I did when Mzee is still alive is that I worked in Kigali, and I worked in a chain of restaurants that belong to the President Kagame. So he thought that was wow.
He thought that was?
Yeah.
How about when you were in Serena?
Oh yeah, he always introduced me. Oh, this is my daughter, she works in Serena.
And what was your involvement in family functions when they were held?
I was the to-go-to person for catering, making sure that people are being fed, food is cooked.
So you had a role whenever he entertained?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You are not an outsider, you are not a pariah?
I was not an outsider.
Okay. It has been suggested in one affidavit by Bernard Keane that you left in disgrace from Serena. Can I ask you to explain how you left Serena and whether it's true or not?
It is not true. In 1999, I decided to try my hand out at a venture in Botswana, and my ex-husband's relatives and I went and opened a restaurant in Botswana. And I was there for a year, but things didn't work out. But in between, I received a call from Serena, the general manager of Nairobi Serena, and she asked me that they have a position for me. So I left Botswana, came back to Nairobi Serena, and from there I became the group training manager up to the year 2011. Yeah.
So it's not true that
No.
you left in disgrace?
No. And in fact, after I left in 2011, 2 years ago, my former managing director, Mr. Jan Mohammed, actually told me to ask me to come back and help them revisit the standards of service.
Okay. So you are still one of their best, you're being called back.
Yeah.
But having said that, why would Bernard lie about you, about something like Serena?
I'm not sure why he would, but it's one of those things, I think. Yeah.
Is Bernard in this case? Is in this
Yes,
room?
my brother is there.
Your brother is there?
Yeah.
So he'll probably explain.
Just to add,
Yes.
one of my best or major achievements, apart from dealing with His Highness the Aga Khan, in many.
You used to deal with His Highness the Aga Khan?
Yes.
The late?
Yes.
Okay. How did you deal with him in your trip?
Traveling with him, making sure that the food and beverage service, food, everything was seamless.
Okay.
Yes. I had the opportunity in 2007 when CHOGM was in Uganda.
What does CHOGM stand for?
Commonwealth Heads of Government.
Commonwealth Heads of Government, yes.
I was in charge of the royal suite for Her Majesty the Queen.
Queen of England?
Yes.
Okay.
After which, at the end of her stay, I was one of the 8 people who was requested to have an audience with her. A 3-minute audience, yes.
Does Bernard know all this?
Yes, he does.
He does? Okay. Then he'll tell us what his problem was. So go ahead. So you left, in short, in a very good way in Serena. I think you've described yourself, and the rest is within your documents. we move to your father's health. Over the years, just moving giant steps to the very end where we're more concerned.
I think he really started ailing after maybe 2012, 2013.
2012, 2013.
Yeah, from my understanding.
Yeah. And you have told us the medical conditions he was suffering from.
Yes.
During this time, you have already told the court he was living with Wamuyu.
Yes.
More
yes.
than with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
We are told that at some point he became very sick. When did you know he became very sick? Do you live on the compound?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
So when did you find out your father was now seriously ill?
Around 2016, just after September. Yes.
Where did you get this information?
My brother.
Who is your brother?
Clifford.
Clifford. Speak up, eh? Clifford
Okay.
told you. What did he tell you?
No, he told me, I think Dad is really ill. Yeah.
What did you do and where did you go?
So he was in Karen Hospital, so my sister Eva and I went to see him there.
He was in Karen Hospital.
Yes.
Sister Eva is in the room?
Yes, she is.
The one over there? Okay. And you went to see him. Did you hesitate at all? Going to see him then?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
So explain what happened when you got there. Do you know who had admitted Mzee into
Wamoyo?
Wamoyo?
Yes.
Okay. And you have also provided a document that
Yes.
she was the next of kin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead.
So when Eva and I walked into his room, because we hadn't seen him for some time, he was very, very happy to see us. Yeah.
How do you describe that happiness? How did it manifest itself?
Okay. You know, he started speaking German to my sister, Eva, who was German speaking. He started asking us questions about our children, his great-grandchildren. I showed him a picture of the two little girls, the great-grandkids from the U.S. And generally, he was just so pleased because we hadn't seen each other for some time. Yeah, he was really pleased.
No, was there any expression of displeasure in seeing you?
None whatsoever.
Any anger?
Absolutely none. Absolutely none. In fact, as we were getting ready to leave, he was like, "Are you going to come? Are you coming back tomorrow? Are you coming back?" You know.
Was he making sense? Was he very coherent?
During that time, yes, because you know we realized he recognized us. He knows. Eva spoke German. You know all. Yeah.
Okay. And what was the state of his health, as you could see? What was he? How was he? How was his body? How was his?
It was really bad.
It was really bad.
It was bad. Yes.
How bad?
Describe. Just his body. When you looked at him, his whole body, his character. He was thin. He was gaunt. You know.
He was thin. He was lost weight.
Yeah, a lot of weight.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, he was lying in bed, so we don't know whether he could walk or not at that particular time. Yes.
How about his hands?
Yeah.
Yes. What?
He really was shaking. His hands were not steady. Yeah.
Who was feeding him?
That's the first time that we went in Karen Hospital, so we didn't stay long enough to find out that bit. But towards the end, when now he was in Aga Khan Hospital, I ended up taking a shift because now I was working at Jacaranda, and I would give him his breakfast. I would serve him his breakfast. His hands were shaking so hard he could hardly hold a spoon or a cup.
He couldn't hold a spoon?
No.
He couldn't hold a cup?
I mean, he could, but he was really shaking.
Really shaking?
Mm-hmm.
So would he object to you feeding him?
Not at all.
Not.
I think he,
You think?
I think he was happy, you know.
I think he was happy.
Yes, I remember one of my brothers, Edward, making fun of me. You know, now look at you're feeding your dad. I said yes.
Edward. Edward is one of the other brothers.
Yes.
Let's stick to Karen for a second. So what becomes of the Karen hospitalization? How does it end?
From the Karen hospital, he was now moved to live with Rosemary.
Who moved him from Karen hospital?
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
Yeah.
Okay.
They could have been the other family members. Sorry.
Rosemary moved him.
Mm.
So where did Rosemary take him?
To her house.
To her house.
Mm.
Before that hospitalization at Karen, where was he living?
With Wamoyo.
With Wamoyo, wife number 3.
Mm.
So Rosemary takes him out of and moves to. Did she take him straight home or to another hospital?
He went home to her house. After a couple of days, I think, they moved him to Aga Khan.
Who is they?
Rosemary and the other family members.
Okay, so Rosemary moved him, and other family members moved him to Aga Khan. So we are still interested in his state of health. How is it? Did you go and see him?
Yes, I did.
Did you go and see him at Rosemary's house?
Yes, I did. Several times.
No, that first time, straight after Karen Hospital. You went to see him?
No, I took about a week or so before I went.
So where did you see him? At home or at Aga Khan?
The next time I saw him was in Aga Khan.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm asking you what was the state of his health?
It was poor health. He was in poor health.
Was he better? Was he worse from what you could see?
I think he was progressively getting worse.
He was getting worse.
Yes.
His reaction to you, and your sister, and all the rest?
Very good.
Very good. Okay. So Aga Khan, what happened after?
And then he left Aga Khan. He was discharged. He went.
Remember the months? We are now from September, isn't it?
Yeah, September, October.
Okay, October.
Went back home. I think stayed a little while, came back into hospital, and then after that,
which is Aga Khan again?
Aga Khan, yeah.
So he left Aga Khan, went which house?
Rosemary's house.
Rosemary's house.
Yes.
Then after Rosemary's house, back to Aga Khan?
Back to Aga Khan. And, you know, it was like an in and out thing.
Okay.
Yes.
About hospitalization abroad?
I thought, yes, now it was after the last hospitalization in Aga Khan that they took him to South Africa.
Who's they?
Again, Rosemary, I mean that family. The family.
Who is in charge?
Rosemary and Pamela and Anthony, yeah.
Okay. Rosemary, Pamela, Anthony. They took him to South Africa?
South Africa.
Okay.
So it was Wamoyo who went with him. Rosemary
Wamoyo also went?
Yeah. Rosemary and Pamela. Yeah.
Okay. So, they take him to South Africa? Of course you didn't go?
No, no.
This is which month?
It
You
was,
have provided the details.
yes, around November.
Okay, November. Then what happens?
Then he came back, hung about a little bit, and then back to Aga Khan Hospital where he finally left.
Okay.
He finally passed away.
He passed on in Aga Khan?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see him in Aga Khan the final time?
Yes, I did.
When he was still alive?
Yes.
And what was his condition?
Definitely really, really bad.
So he was going down?
Yes.
Down.
Mm-hmm. And in fact, now when he finally passed away, or that night, it was my daughter Benya, my brother's Edward and Nicholas were now with him at the last minute, all the way until he passed on. Yeah.
During this whole time of illness, how would you describe the family relationships between yourself and your brothers and your sisters and all?
It was good between us, the family.
Yes.
Yes. Because we were united in this illness of Dad.
Okay. How about access? Were you given free access whenever there was at Rosemary's house? Were you given free access?
We went in, didn't feel very welcomed, but we, at the end of the day, he's our dad. Yeah. Yeah.
You've explained how he passes on and when he passes on. Okay. Next event is during this time, during this hospitalization, did you ever see Justice Isaac Lanaola?
No, I didn't.
You didn't see him at the hospital?
Never.
Okay. And before Mzee died, what was the relationship of Justice Lanaola with Rosemary?
From where I stand, they had a good relationship.
How good?
I mean, if we, as a family, we heard things were happening,
What type of things? Okay, they had a good relationship.
Yeah.
That's not the evidence of the witness. If you want to give evidence, unless you're going to give us specific dates, times, and your own observation. Yes.
And you said they had a good relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Did you witness it?
I didn't witness it, but there was talk.
Did you ever see them together?
Yes, I did.
What you
What
saw?
I know.
Yes,
Okay.
what you saw. Did you ever see them together?
She said she did not see. That is on record. We can't confirm.
And Mr. Ochieng is saying you said you never saw. I'm asking you again. Did you see ever see them or Ochieng see them together?
Senior counsel, that's not me saying it.
You're saying it. I'm asking the witness.
What did the witness tell the court?
So,
saying it.
So, witness, you've heard his objection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you again.
And I will answer yes.
Please.
I saw them.
So that Mr. Ochieng doesn't have to put words here.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, what is your
I did see them once at the Talisman having dinner. We were there with friends.
Okay, you saw them having dinner together.
I mean, it was a group.
You speak up.
Sorry. Talisman. The Talisman restaurant in Karen.
And what were they doing?
They were having dinner.
Okay.
It was a group of people.
But who amongst them you recognized?
The two of them.
Who is the two
Oh,
of them?
sorry, Rosemary and Justice Lenaula.
Okay. Your father was still alive?
Yes, he was.
Now, he passes on. And I don't know if there's anything you wish to mention between passing on and burial. Is there anything you'd like to?
No, you asked about the relationship between the children. It was a pretty good relationship at that time because we were all united in grief and we all had tasks that we need to do to ensure that we gave him a proper sentiment.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, he was buried. What is the next significant event after burial? It was a big event.
It was a huge event.
It was a huge event. I'm a witness. I was there. It was a huge event. And
We have to
So a couple of days later, we went back to Namanga, to the farm, where we had some Maasai elders come and do some rituals, you know, blessing the house, blessing the children. They call it a washing of the eyes. Yeah. So it was at that time that, and then of course his clothes, whatever he had, that was now giving out to the grandchildren, to the boys. Yeah.
Okay. I'm interested in the time the will issue. Yes, when does that become brought to your attention?
It was at that particular time, okay, when we went now to, you know, through the Maasai ritual, that Anthony informed us that there will be a real reading on the 4th of January, and we are all expected to attend. Yeah.
Anthony
Simel, yes, yes.
So it was to be on which day?
It was on the 4th of January.
On the 4th of January.
2017.
And he was buried on?
On the 30th of December.
30th of December.
2016.
Okay. The land upon which Mzee was buried, whose was it, as far as you know?
Mzee's land.
Mzee's land.
Yeah.
Was it, had any of the wives set up a home there? Had he settled any of his wives there?
Yes, Rosemary was in attendance.
In attendance?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he ever declare that it was her land?
No.
Not at all.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. No, we don't need to confine ourselves to what you know. So, let's go to the will reading. Yes? Yes, you please describe.
Oh, yes. So we were all there, including Justice Renaula, all the family members except Pamela, who was away.
So start with the list. All the family members except Pamela, who was away.
Yes.
Now let's go to others. Renaula, you were starting to say.
Yeah.
Justice Renaula was there.
He was there. Maina Washira was.
One at a time.
Sorry.
Is he a family member?
No, he isn't.
Not at all. Do you know what he was doing there? Do you know when you see him? Not what you later find out. When you see him sitting there, do you know why he's there?
I assumed he was there because he was a friend of Mzee.
So you assumed he was
Yes.
there. Okay, go on. Next.
We had Maina Washira was Mzee's lawyer. My sisters and I had come with our own lawyers from Commonwealth, the late Albert and some of his paralegals, and some of Mzee's friends. Yes.
Okay.
Including Sakuda, who was a member of Parliament in Kajiado.
Honorable Sakuda.
Yeah.
Anybody else you remember?
No, not really. But all the family members were there, all of them, except Pamela.
Okay. So, please describe how the process took. What happened? What you witnessed?
So the will was taken out of a briefcase. It was open.
By who?
Oh, sorry, by Maina Washira. Taken out of a briefcase, it was read, and he started reading.
No, before you do that, was it sealed in an envelope?
Not that I didn't see that
You
at
didn't
all.
see it
No,
sealed?
no.
In other words, did he? I asked if it was.
I saw a sheet of papers coming out of a briefcase, and he started reading the will.
What do you mean a sheet of paper?
I mean, you know,
like what?
a bunch of papers.
Bunch of papers.
Yes.
So I asked you, were they in an envelope?
I did not see an envelope.
You did not see it.
No.
Did he say, "I'm now unsealing it"?
No, he didn't.
No. Okay, carry on. So, what happened?
So he started reading the will.
Okay. And he read the will?
He read the will, and
from every page?
yes.
Okay. And what is what you heard about the will?
The most significant thing was the fact that my mother, Gladwell Keane, was absolutely left out. There was no mention of her except that he had made provisions for her upkeep until she died.
What about the rest of the family, your family, first house?
For the first house again, he mentioned, what he bequeathed to us. Like my two sisters and I, we were left 5 million shillings each. Some land somewhere in Masaini, I think 5-10 acres, I'm not sure. And that's about it, really.
Okay, that was what was ready, that
Yes.
thing that was ready.
Yeah.
What else? Was Gladwell still alive?
Yes, Mom was still alive.
Mom was still alive.
So what you asked me, what was so significant about that will? As the reading went on, you see that house help was given 10 million, so you start comparing.
Please, let's put that on record. You also found it interesting that a house help by the name of first name?
Juliana.
Juliana was given?
10 million or something?
10 million. In comparison to what were you given?
5 million.
Were you given a piece of land?
Yes, in Masaini, somewhere in Masaini, I think. Between 7 and 10 acres.
Okay.
Yeah.
We may come back to the will when we give it to you, but I'm just talking about reactions. Anything else significant about that? Who are the executors?
So there were four.
Named in this document?
Yeah, so in this there were 4 executors, Lenaula, Rosemary, Pamela, and Mainaohira.
What was your reaction to this list of executors?
At the beginning, I didn't see anything wrong with it at the beginning, but you see, as you continue internalizing the will and seeing the disparities, then you start wondering, oh, wow, so where is my mother's house here? Yeah. In terms of executors or administrators, yeah.
Will not look cathartic it is for those who have been attending court for so long. To start is give them. Thank you. My Lord, just one small housekeeping issue. We would like to make an oral application for the witness summons.
Following, and in terms of a list that I'm going to provide, let me read it quickly, then I give you the list, you can write it. The branch manager, Credit Bank Limited, Koinange Street. The branch manager, my Lord, I'm hoping you can write later.
No, I'm just getting us my list.
Okay.
Then I will divide here to...
Branch manager, Credit Bank Limited, Koinange Street. Branch manager, Equity Bank Limited, Namanga Branch. Branch manager, Standard Chartered Bank of Kenya Limited. Ashok Mataru, consultant physician, Doctors Plaza, Aga Khan Hospital. 5, the CEO, Aga Khan Hospital, Doctors Plaza. 6, the CEO, Karen Hospital. 7, the director, Business Registration Service. 8, the registrar, Lands Office, Kajiado, Namanga. 9, Rachel Njeri Kiarie, Summit Associates. 10, Sylvester Kimeto of Meto and Company Advocates. 11, Martin Mutenge, Mutisia and Company Advocates. 12, P. Kimani Kairu Advocate. 13, Tom Okuku Ngeri Advocate. 14, Mr. Saitabao Kanchori Advocate. 15, Mr. Munyasia Advocate. Let me provide that so that them with the summons, but arrange them in such a way that they don't all have to appear on that day, but at least they stand guided that they are now on call. We have had no cooperation from them. They have all said bring a court order, and they will come with all records, bank records, bank mandates, everything.
So, you recommended with the years?
As according to
this is indicated.
Thank you.
No, Lord, I think we have to stick to the procedure. There are no procedures. As an officer of the court, you must state the name of the person, address, and what do you require of that person.
My Lord, I will do so in each case.
But that has not been done. That's why I'm complaining.
My Lord, I can even do that right now. Right now. If your Lordship will give me another 3 minutes.
No problem. You do it once I leave. I don't expect it in because these people, some of them are even on the year. That form is normally filled with information.
Yes.
What you're coming to go to do.
Yes.
So I think it's okay. But I'm sure they will want to. So the only thing I'm concerned is if all of them come in.
No.
Specify when we will leave them.
I have even no problem if the court were to hold that until you give us the other dates.
Okay.
Yes. Not therefore they don't come on 29th. It is unlikely that Vicky will finish by 29th. I'm talking about cross-examination.
Yeah. We have a long list.
So that the dates will issue after whatever you give us after that.
So I think what you do that when they those fear, you need to prepare a fresh one containing the details of what each of them, so that by the time the year gets to fill the forms, there's a bit of explanation.
I will follow up with a formal with information and so on.
That's all right.
That's my Lord.
Thank you.
So I think we leave it at that.
I think it's
I'm trying to be as humane. Anyway, KK and Medicina, you are calling now. You know what I mean. If the orders by Judge, please let them edit because most of the time, if the money is there, let it be. If it's not there, it's not there. Thank you.
It's okay, look up here. No, don't stand. It's okay. Yeah. Face me, face me. Thank
Now, did you take a picture of me and Kadima? No, I want to.